All right, everybody, it's 444RR with the next video on the 365-day magic challenge. Today's kind of a magician's only day. This one is a little tip for magicians, and if you use sponge balls in your act. This is a little tip I learned from my local magician, Barry Taylor. He taught this when he did a lecture one day about you can puff your sponge balls back up. When you get sponge balls, you get them in a box like this, and they're usually super springy. But after you use them for a while, the springiness goes away out of them. You can get that springiness to come back in your sponge balls, though. Let me show you how to do that. It also makes the sponge balls look really big and fluffy, too, and I'll show you how to make that. You need a little kind of towel. I have a washcloth here. And you're going to need a bowl of water. Or you can do this right in the sink. You just plug the sink up and then let the water fill up in the sink. But I have a little bowl of water here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your sponge ball, put it right inside the water, give it a good couple little squeezes like this, and then bring it out, put it on the towel, and you'll see it gets bigger. So let me show you the size of this sponge ball right now. Sorry, the light is like coming into the window there. There's the sponge ball size, what it looks like right now. Let me show you what it looks like after you put it in the water. So you're going to place it right in the water, give it a couple little squeezes inside the water, and then wring it out like that. I like to do it about 2 times in the water. So again, you squeeze it again like that, wring it out, and now take a look at the size of this sponge ball. It actually has grown bigger. It's hard to tell, but it grew about 2 inches. So you know, let's say it's a 1/2 inch, then it grew to 1.5 inches. So it grows about 1 inch after you put it in the water. And also, it makes the sponge ball real springy, so it springs back open. When you like have it in your hand and you close your hand up, it boings open. And if you do a trick where there's a lot of sponge balls appearing for like a final load, you can make them poof, all kind of poof out. So there's this size ball. And I'll put it in the water and show you what it looks like after. So again, you're going to place it right in the water, give it a couple squeezes like that. This is so hard to do in a bowl using a big sponge ball like this. All right, squeeze it out and then do it again. Also, this is really nice too if you have sponge balls and you accidentally like close them in your case and you leave them in your case. Like let's say half the ball is sticking out and there's like an indent in your sponge ball. It actually makes it real nice too because it'll make the indent go away. All right. And squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. There we go. And now this sponge ball has gotten a little bigger too. As you can tell, this one's actually really easy to tell. It grows about 1 inch. So this is really nice because, like I say, when you close them up in your hand, you open up your hand, they spring really nicely out of your hand. And this is nice to keep them if you get them dirty. It's nice to kind of clean your sponge balls as well. So that's kind of the cool little tip that I've never learned. It's something to share with. Share your tips like this, magicians. Share the tips because, you know, tips like this are kind of neat because nobody really knows these kind of things. And I learned it because Barry learned it from another magician who taught him, and he didn't know about, you know, cleaning your sponge balls and making them bigger and spring back to life. This works, I hear, with any sponge material. So if you have the sponge rabbits, that springs them back to life. So any kind of sponge ball, any kind of sponge material will work. So I've been told it makes it grow bigger. The only thing is I wouldn't do anything if your sponges are painted on them, like the angry sponges. I wouldn't do that because it probably might take the paint off your sponges. Or off your like angry sponges. But it's a really, really great kind of tool to get your sponge balls have a little more life back in them. So that is, I call it cleaning a sponge ball. So that is today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. And also a couple more tips about cleaning your sponge balls. I would do this before every show. That way your sponge balls look nice and big and fluffy, and they just look better when you go to do a sponge ball trick. So I would do this before every show. That way it really springs your sponge balls back to life. And the towel is really there so you can kind of clean off your sponge balls. But you can just leave your sponge balls sit on a towel like overnight and they'll dry, or, you know, even a couple hours. I would do this like, if you're going to do a show, let's say at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, do this about 11. That way it gives your sponge balls a couple hours to dry. And they're not, you don't put them in your pockets and they get your pockets damp. But that's cleaning a sponge ball. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next 365-day Magic Challenge video.